In the last video, we have seen how to create a new GitHub project on the GitHub dashboard itself. So here we now need to learn about how to clone this repository that we've created onto a local computer. Okay, so moving on to this topic, first of all, let's understand what is cloning. So cloning is actually like if you find the English meaning of this clone word, it means the creating an identical copy. Okay, so cloning a repository actually means like you are actually creating a local copy of the repository on your computer. So there are like four ways to do that. Either you can use your favorite IDE, okay, that is Visual Studio Code, IntelliJ or Android Studio, or you can use terminal or GitHub desktop. So terminal is like your terminal that is provided with the operating system. So I have Mac, I have this terminal, okay. And GitHub desktop is something like GitHub has officially released their desktop app, so you can find it, you can Google it and you can use that also. So in this video we shall be learning about the first three ways to how to clone a repository. So note that all these four are equivalent, so just use whatever you like. Okay, so there is nothing like any difference. It's just about cloning a repository. So first of all, let us see what is VS Code. So VS Code, again, it's a popular open source IDE by Microsoft, and you can download it and install it from its official website. Okay, so I just Google it like download VS Code. So you will land upon the official website of the Visual Studio, and you can just download it. So if you are on the Windows operating system, just use the Windows version. On Ubuntu, you can use the .deb package or on Debian based Ubuntu, and for the Mac, you can just download from the Mac. So I have like already installed the Visual Studio Code on my computer. So if I just type command search and type Visual Studio Code, so you can see this is my Visual Studio that has opened. So that's the very basic home page of the Visual Studio. Now how to clone the repository in the Visual Studio, that's very easy. So you can just press double this command shift P, okay, or control shift P in the Windows, so it will open up this command prompt. Okay, so you can type like git clone maybe. So it's asking me like where like I need to add the repository URL. Okay, so I will go to my project, I will just click on this code button and I will just copy it. So that's a shortcut, or you can just click on it and just control C to copy it and just paste it on the VS Code. So just press enter. So you can see it will ask me like where should I save the repository. Okay, so what I recommend you is to like create a new folder, name it as your project, my projects, or I am here like naming it as YouTube projects. Click create. So select this as the repository location. Don't just randomly clone it to the desktop or downloads. Always maintain a proper folder structure when cloning any repository, just for like future reference. So if I just click on the select repository button, you will see it is cloning and it has done cloning, and it's asking me like should I open this repository. So you can click on the open and you can see the source code file that we have created on the GitHub is now available. So this was the only file that our project was having, and we have that cloned in our project. Okay, so that's a Visual Studio way of cloning the repositories. So now for the sake of like explaining the next ways of cloning repository, I am just deleting the YouTube folder. Okay, so moving on to the next. So I hope like VS Code thing is clear to you. If you have any trouble, just mention them in the comment section below. Now the second is the Android Studio way or the IntelliJ way. So I shall be using the IntelliJ way. So I just click on the file, just click on the new, and I will just use the project from the version control system. So if I just click on the project on the control system, I will just need to again add a URL. So here I will be pasting this URL. You need a directory again. So directory, you can just either you can use this default one, or you can just click on this folder button. You can go to the home page, maybe like master, and create again newer folder as recommended. So name it as YouTube projects, and just click on the create button, click open. So you can see the repository. Here I'm using the git, and there is a directory option, so it's stored in the YouTube projects. So if I just click on the clone, you can see it has cloned it, and I can just open up this project again. This project is again the same, so readme.md. Now you might notice there is one .idea folder over here, but this is not present in our project. So don't worry, this is just this IntelliJ based configuration is stored here. So if you are using VS Code, the folder will be .vs code. So it's something like settings page. Okay, so you don't need to just bother this folder. We shall discuss this in our later slides. Okay, so here like in these we have the readme file. So that's the IntelliJ based or Android Studio based cloning of a repository. So for the sake of again explaining the other cloning methods, I just delete this YouTube projects, and I would delete it by just closing it down, otherwise it will start giving unexpected errors. So I am deleting this again. So let's come to the third way. So third way is directly by using terminal. So let's say you don't have the Android Studio or idea installed, or the VS Code installed, so you can just use the terminal way. So for the terminal way, just either you can search terminal on the Mac OS, you can use the search bar in the your Windows, or in the Ubuntu you can just press Control Alt T as the shortcut, or use the Windows command and search for the terminal. Okay, so here my terminal is already open. So before I run this command, I first of all verify whether Git is installed on my system or not. If Git is not installed, just go back to the previous video and try installing the Git. So here, to check if the Git is installed, I just type git dash version. So you can see Git displays the version. This means your Git is properly installed. Now the command says like run the following command: git clone and repo URL. Okay, so if I just write git clone space and then control paste, so that's the URL that I just copied it from here again. Okay, so if I just press enter, so it will clone this in my home repository. Okay, but I don't want to do that, so I will be discarding this command. You can discard this by pressing Ctrl C, that is without executing. So first of all, I shall create a new folder. So again I go to my home page, and I just click on the here to as the new folder. So this step is again optional, so it's up to you whether you want to create a folder or not, but I highly recommend you to create a folder. For example, if you can see, I have created different folder for the Python projects, for the studio projects, view project, web project, even for the Flutter project. So that's why I recommend you to segregate it language wise. So if I just see, it's an empty folder. Now to navigate to the this YouTube projects folder from the terminal, I first of all list the directories, so by using the command ls. So here you can see we have the YouTube projects. Type cd means change directory, write YouTube projects, or you can just if I just erase it, and you can just press tab in the Mac so as to auto complete it. So you can see now I am in the YouTube projects. Now I should run this command, so this will now clone in the YouTube projects itself. So you could have done it, but again this would have cloned it over in my home folder. Okay, so there is again the mixing of the different projects. That's why I created a new folder. So now if I run this above command git clone paste, so let me just copy the URL again. Okay, so this command is, if you see it from here, it's simply git clone and your URL. So if I just press enter, you will see it is cloning the first project, doing some calculations and stuff. Okay, and it's now 100% received. So and if I now open up my folder and go to the YouTube projects, so you can see my first project is cloned and readme.md file is there, which is this file. Okay, so this is the like terminal way of cloning the repository. Okay, so let us just explain like how this command actually works. So this terminal thing is the we are using the git terminal command, okay, or git terminal simply. So all the command, like git has different commands. So if you can see, if you want to see the all the command that git provide, you just need to press git that dash help. So you can see it presented you a lot of different options that are available in the git command itself. So here if you see, we have clone command as the first command, so that is git as the main command, so that's a usage docs only. Git version, if you remember, git that dash version, so that's one of the command. So you also have the clone command. Okay, so you can just press the git help if you have any, like if you remember, if you forget any command or something like that, just you can check it out like what all commands are available to you. So here it's like what we have done is like we have run the git clone and this URL. So what does this means? Like if I break this command into three parts, git, again the first command git is the basic git command. Okay, so that's a main command, you can say. Clone again is the second command that we provide, that is the clone means clone a repository into a new directory. Third is the URL. The URL again is the URL that we want to clone. Again note that here I just use the bracket just to signify that this is a placeholder type of thing. So there is no brackets over here, so just note the URL. Okay, so that's a simple URL. So this command is actually a combination of three commands, that is git clone and URL. So similarly, like there are various other commands like git add dot, git checkout branch, so that you must have heard. So all that commands are the different command that are available in the git main command list. Okay, so all these like terminal way of thing, doing the things, or the VS code way of thing is something similar. So if you like want to enhance the VS code git power, you can install an extension. So this is a extension. Okay, so you can just install the git graph. So that's a very beautiful extension out there, so you can just install it. So if you just install it, click on this install button. Okay, I have already installed it, that's why it's not showing install. Just click on this git graph and you will see all the like branches and pull requests, etc. Now what is branches and pull request, we shall talk this in our later parts of the series. Okay, so I guess that's the very basics of how to clone a repository by three different ways. That is either by Visual Studio, IntelliJ, or Terminal. There is also one fourth way that I haven't discussed, that is GitHub Desktop way. That is something like very easy. So you just go to the Google and type GitHub Desktop, and it will prompt you to download the software, and you can just use it. Okay, so I guess this is all for this video, and please like to and subscribe, and if you have any doubt, just have mention them in the comment section below. Thank you.